I'm Jonathan Messenger, broadcasting to you live from my home, where I record a kids podcast with my son, Griffin.
John dreams of inspiring other parents to create something with their kids. American Family Insurance is helping to make that dream happen right now.
Dad, what else does a monster look like?
It was so huge.
John's podcast began at home, and your dreams can too. Learn more about American Family's home insurance at mfam.com. American Family Insurance. Insure carefully, dream fearlessly.
American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin, 53783.
What's the going rate for the 101 in Dynasty startups? Can you win with doubling up on tight end early? And who won the I Got 5 on it wagers in 2017? Plus, Genesis drafters from last weekend, Greg McClain and Dustin Hayek, will join us to recap that draft, talk about some early round busts, and more. We've got a great show for you. Greg McClain and Dustin Hayek are here. I'm Eric Balkman. Stick around. Your high-stakes fantasy football hour starts now.
What more can I say? We top billing it. Stallion without billing it. Viciously found victory. Burnt towns and villages. Burning, looting, and pillaging. Murderers try to hurt us. We curse them and all their children. I just want the bread and bologna bundles to tuck away. I don't work for free. I am barely giving up away. So tell begging Johnny and Mommy to get the away. Yo, here's a gun, son. Now run. Get it the gut away. Live to shoot another day.
Broadcast live and heard around the world, you are now listening to the most entertaining hour of radio on the planet. It's the High Stakes Fantasy Football Hour presented by MyFFPC.com with your hosts Eric Balkman and Dave Gerzak. The High Stakes Fantasy Football Hour is your home for football analysis from the best fantasy players in the world. And now, because no one else was available, here are Eric Balkman and Dave Gerzak.
Nobody sleeps.
Thank you, Rob, and greetings and salutations, all of you Balkaholics and all of you Gerzak fanatics. Welcome to the latest episode of the High Stakes Fantasy Football Hour presented by MyFFPC.com. I'm your slightly above average host, Eric Balkman, and my co-host is, of course, the patron saint of fantasy football. You know him as the Dizzle. We also call him Dave Gerzak. Coming up on tonight's show, we have a bevy of stuff to talk about. What do the young Broncos receivers do to the dynasty values of Demaryius Thomas and Emmanuel Sanders? Is there a shark pick in the Eagles' backfield? And more. Plus, Genesis drafters and former FFPC Dynasty and Footballguys League champs Greg McClain and Dustin Hayek will join us to recap the live coverage of their Genesis draft from last week and more. To be clear, these guys are not co-owners. They're just friends, compete against each other in Genesis, Dynasty Leagues, Football Guys, what have you. We're going to have Greg on first, and then Dustin's actually going to come on, and we'll do some Dynasty talk with him as well. Shout out to the chat room right now. Feel free to post your questions you might have in there if you want to connect with us on Twitter. The show is at HSFF Hour. I am at Eric Balkman. Dave is at David Gerzak. Of course, you can find Dustin on Twitter at DustinDavidH. You can post it on our Facebook page at facebook.com/HSFF Hour. If you want to chime in and talk with us, give us a call at 347-426-3682. That's 347-GAME-OVA. You can also email the show at the inbox, highstakesfantasyfootball@gmail.com. If you have any questions for us, for Greg, for Dustin, now is the time to send them in. It is your last chance. Our producer and mutual friend Rob and audio engineer Bryce will get those questions to us in the fantasy feedback segment later on in the show. I don't know how much we'll get to tonight because we have to total up the I Got 5 on it. Plus a special added treat tonight. The Dizzle is commissioning a live Football Guys Players Championship draft, and we'll be checking in with you, Dave. If you see any surprise, we'll be checking in whenever we talk about a player to see where we went.
Balky, I can't talk right now with commission.
Okay, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to put you up.
This is not very difficult to do both. I said an 80 IQ monkey could do either and both at the same time.
I do a lot of these drafts, so you don't need to put down my people.
Any moron can commission one of these drafts.
Okay, well, it's not that easy. A couple of housekeeping notes up at the top of the show. Football Guys Early Bird Promotion, free $35 FFPC team. Make sure you're taking advantage of that. Register it by June 30th and draft it before July 15th, and you will get a free FFPC $35 team into your account. We'll do that up to 3 times for you. Our main event early bird, time sticking out on that, less than 3 weeks to go. May 31st is when you need to get in on that. Get $100 off your first team, $300 off each additional team. Room discounts at Planet Hollywood, and our casino host, FFPC Casino Connection, Greg Sidoris. Rates have gone up on the Strip and at Planet Hollywood. You know where
Which
they
means their discounts are increased.
They have not gone up for the FFPC group, so make sure you're taking advantage of that.
The value is better.
And we rolled out another promotion today. You can sit at a Caesars entertainment property for $10, one of the sports book lounges or restaurants for week 1 viewing. You draft all those team live out there, and then you get to watch them for $10 at a sports book or lounge restaurant. You have to stay on a Caesars property like Planet Hollywood. Hopefully you're out staying at Planet Hollywood. That'll just make it easier.
The H is pretty money. I really enjoyed Planet Hollywood.
It is. It's fantastic. Dynasty startups available. Best ball drafts going on right now, including the at the $35 on up level. And I'll put this out on social media when I know more of when it's coming out. But I did the Roto Underworld podcast with our good friend, player profiler founder Matt Kelly. We did that today, and we will have that show out this week. A lot of good redraft, a lot of good dynasty stuff in there. And Matt Kelly will also be in Pros vs. Joes this year as well. So good stuff there. All about the synergy, Dave.
Yes.
It's all about the synergy. So let's bring in tonight's guest. Speaking of tonight's first guest, speaking of synergy, let's bring him on right now. He is a multi-league winner with titles in the at the Footballguys Players Championship level, several titles actually, league titles. He joins us now to discuss his Genesis draft from last week. Or excuse me, not his Genesis draft. Well, yes, his Genesis draft from last week, because you heard him draft at the 1 spot last weekend. He had the 1 spot there.
Yeah.
We're going to talk to him about that. Won a lot of best balls with us as well. He's going to share his thoughts on what went right and wrong for him in Genesis. Please welcome to the High Stakes Fantasy Football Hour, Greg McClain. Greg, thank you so much for coming on the show, man.
No problem. How are you guys doing?
We're doing excellent. And for anybody who maybe has played against you in the past, I believe you go by the team name Pay the Manning. Is that correct?
Yeah, is the sound okay? You can hear me?
You are sounding way better than me and Dave have ever sounded, Greg. I'll tell you that right now,
okay,
to be honest
awesome.
with you.
Yeah, Pay the Manning is my owner name, but I use quite a few different names for teams.
Quite a few indeed. Yeah, absolutely. We'll get into fantasy in a second. Tell the listeners what you do for a living before we do.
I'm a plumbing and heating contractor in and around Aspen, Colorado. I live in Glenwood Springs.
I could have actually, because you're in Colorado and I'm in Wisconsin. Dave, I didn't even tell you this. When I was on my cruise, our water heater died.
Does that seem typical? Like
yeah.
You go somewhere and then something happens?
My mom, who was watching the kids, she organized the whole thing, and she said, the guy who came in and looked at it said, this might set a record for the oldest one I've ever seen.
Nice.
It was super, super old.
You didn't expect it when you bought your house.
No, we were hoping it would fail inspection, so they would have to buy us a new one, and it didn't. It passed. So unfortunately, we had to, the cruise is a little bit more expensive than we originally intended.
So Greg, that's pretty nice. Aspen, Colorado. So you can pretty much just, they're like, oh, we need a quote for this. They're like, like 48,000. You just throw any number you want out there, and they just say, oh, all right, cool. Is that right?
Well, it's competitive for sure, but we're qualified and we're lucky to get to do what we do where we are for sure. So
that's Greg saying it's him and one other guy, and they just pretty much switch off on who takes the job.
Yeah.
That's fine. I believe in price fixing, Greg. It's all good, buddy. All right, so let's ask you a question about football. Genesis is in the book for 2018. Everyone heard the coverage last week. You had the 1 spot. You tell us what your thought process going with Zach Ertz at the 301 and then Kyle Rudolph at the 412.
Well, my first thought when I saw that I got the 101 is, can I trade it for a second and third, or give up a first and a sixth for a second and a third? Right. The 101 is my least favorite pick. I could care less for the first 4 picks. I prefer to pick from the 5 to 8. And of course, the 6 and 7, I like to pick in the middle of every round, but I didn't get to here. So, of course, I'm a Le'Veon Bell guy. Well, you're not susceptible to runs, and you get to pick, when you get the 6 and 7, the furthest you pick apart is 13 picks, 11 to 13 in between. I don't like waiting 22 players to get my second player. I much prefer to get 2 of the top 18 or top 16 or even 13. But anyway, I took early on the Levy. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was just curious because, I know you don't like getting caught in the runs, but it seemed like the way that this draft sort of began for you, well, not began, but the first few rounds, you might actually started a run, but by taking 2 tight ends in the first 4 rounds and really push up the value. Why did you decide to go with, Ertz and then Rudolph right away in the 4th?
Well, I'm a Rudolph fan. I have been the last couple of years. He's kind of the sleeper save for me. For the last 3 years, I get him in the 5th round every year behind all these guys, and he's top 8. He's usually 8th, but I call that top 8 every year. And last year I got stuck because his worst weeks were at the end of the year. He hurt his foot or whatever it was and had a flat 0 or 2 when I needed to either make the playoffs or, get the 101. So this year I didn't want to get stuck like that. So I was doubling up the tight end. I was able to take Ertz at the 301, which was fine with me. I'm a running back guy generally, so I like to take the running back early.
As long as we're talking about running backs, let's talk. I want to move on and talk about the one of the running backs in your backyard, one of the newest Denver Broncos, and that's Royce Freeman. You took him as the 3rd rookie off the board at the 501. This was, over other rookie running backs like Sony Michel, Ronald Jones, Rashad Penny, and Nick Chubb. Why did you feel like he was the best choice there? And a follow-up question from the chat room. Fellow Genesis drafter Jake Belike wants to know how many Broncos are too many to roster on one team.
There's never too many. 3. So I got to give a shout out to the guys, if you don't mind. We're all the original 26 league from last year. And then we had everybody got along so well, and the group me chat. It's pretty amazing what everybody goes through and how the camaraderie and how much fun we've had on there. We had a few other people want to join, and they've contributed a ton, and so we had to develop the 26 2.0 Dynasty League, and it's been awesome. I mean, we've got really good players. Everyone has good insight. They take it really serious. And Spree, I think it was, or one of the guys saw that the Genesis was on the board for registration, and we just couldn't stand it. We're, slightly abnormal, but it filled up, and we all kind of are a big group and have a lot of fun doing it. So anyway, the Genesis and everybody knows, so I have to say Spree knows I'm the Bronco guy, and that's pretty much the first reason to answer your question. But I do have some insight to the other backs. It's actually the first time for me, if I'm going to play fantasy, especially at this level, it's not as much fun for me if I don't have a player of my own team to root for. And it's been tough the last couple of years, and the hype, of course, is 3 of the 4 hosts on Fantasy Live even picked him to be the top rookie running back first year. So that was exciting enough for me to take him. I have a feeling, I like Penny, but Seattle's offensive line's lost a few players the last couple of years. They don't have enough receivers to hold off a 8-man front to keep Wilson and Penny at bay. Michelle's got 4 other running backs to compete with that they all will be used every game. I can't stand that. Chubb's too crowded. I can't do that. It's not just crowded with nobodies. Duke Johnson had almost 200 fantasy points last year. Carlos Hyde had 210 or something. He was the number 10 back in the league. So, and Chubb with the questionable receiving skills, I've got him down the furthest on my list. And Jones, I like Jones. Jones is going to run a lot. Tampa's defensive front is going to keep low-scoring games. They're going to kill clock, I think, and run a lot. But I'm not sure about their offensive line, and they just paid Mike Evans all that money to catch jump balls. So, I mean, I think and Winston's kind of a panic, tossing up jump balls guy, so I think that's kind of Tampa's game. So I'm not sure how they'll use him yet.
Yeah, Freeman definitely has a lot of opportunity there. All right, enough. We're going to switch from the rookie talk, Dave. Let's talk about some veteran receivers.
Yes, the freshly traded Martavis Bryant went from the East Coast to the West Coast. He was the second Raiders receiver off the board. You took him over the great, and we were missing him already here in Green Bay area, Jordy Nelson. Tell us just a little bit about why you took a young guy over this old, decrepit Jordy Nelson.
All right.
Right. Well, I heard what you said last week, and I laughed. It's pretty much the same reason. I don't think that Bryant is replacing. He's replacing the number one, and he's going to be the number one. I mean, Amari Cooper sucks. I mean, being drafted.
Wow. Yeah.
Being drafted in
the
third. He's done nothing. He's done nothing, and he gets drafted so high because he's from Alabama. I mean, Kenny Britt can't catch. He's been in 5 different teams. You know, he was a big first-round pick, too. By now, if he wasn't from Alabama, he would be on a practice squad, or I just can't imagine. But that'll tie into question number 8, I believe. No. And so I think he's replacing the number one. They got rid of Crabtree. I've had Crabtree the last 2 years. I had nothing but success with him. The guy was steady when he wasn't suspended. I mean, in those couple games, that kind of cost me. It was a bad point because I had, Denver defense. They went downhill fast when Talib was down and this and that. So I think Bryant's going to be the number one.
Wow, this is interesting.
I love that.
Jordy's going to play the slot. Jordy's going to do exactly what Fitz is doing in Arizona. Is what I'm envisioning. I try not to pay attention to a lot of Raiders stuff, and rooting for Martavis Bryant will be tough. But
the thing is, it's funny is Eric's been trying to sell me this sob story of Amari Cooper being so drastically injured last year. I was looking at the injury report; he was never on it, but I think there was a Roto World blurb over some sort of, it was like a stub toe or something.
You know why he wasn't on it? Because he's from Alabama, and you just assume that those guys are only at 50% by the time they get to the NFL. I mean, they're always so beat up in college. That's probably what it was.
What's Ridley going to be like then?
Oh, Ridley's already doubtful for week 1. Already.
He can run fast. Cooper can run fast and he can run routes, but I think the only thing that was hurt was his feelings because he can't handle the mental part of it. I'm not sure he can recover after 2 seasons of leading, and I believe in college he led the NCAA in drops. I mean, he could take this year off and still lead the NFL in drops after 4 seasons. So I don't know. Go ahead.
For what it's worth, just a full disclosure, Greg is a Broncos fan, and the Broncos do play the Raiders twice a year and have played the Raiders twice a year. So you can take this for a grain of salt that he doesn't want Raiders to do good, but also take it that Greg has seen a lot of Raiders football and a lot of Amari Cooper over the last few years. So I need to reevaluate at this point my Amari Cooper feelings. Let's switch it to the backfield and talk about the Philly backfield. Greg McClain, Genesis drafter, former multi-league winner in the Footballguys Players Championship. Let's talk about Corey Clement here, Greg. He's in a backfield in Philadelphia that's going to have Pumphrey coming back, Darren Sproles, Jay Ajayi. I think they just signed Matt Jones as well. Can you tell us why you had picked Corey Clement nearly 2 rounds ahead of his ADP in the Genesis draft at the end of the 10th round?
A few reasons. This year the running back frenzy is just out of control. The running backs are going so fast in the first few rounds, and because of the draft position, I don't like I said, the one spot drafting at the turn. I don't like waiting so many picks between players. and when they're gone. But I actually do like Corey Clement, and he's a good dynasty player in my opinion. He's 23. He was a rookie last year, and he arguably won the Super Bowl for the Eagles with that catch in the back of the end zone. He's a 23-year-old small kid. I don't believe that I think 5 catches, 100 yards, and a touchdown in the Super Bowl gets
it was
you
very
put
good. I
that
remember
behind. I don't think that gets you put behind Darren Sproles, regardless of what he's done before. When you're doing that, and I didn't see any of the other guys you mentioned even in the game in the Super Bowl. I don't even know if I saw him the whole year. So I can't imagine Clement doesn't keep the third down duty at very least. And Ajayi's not the most durable guy. I do have him on a few dynasties, so I'm rooting for him. But I think Clement's got a chance to keep his spot and stay where he's at.
Corey Clement, Dave, a guy we saw as a Wisconsin Badger up here for many years, and now he's making plays for the Philadelphia Eagles, and it doesn't seem like it's going to stop anytime soon.
I like Josh Adams in that backfield.
Oh, yeah, Josh from Notre Dame. I forgot about
no,
there, too.
Listen to this. I just learned this evening because I was getting some random crap on ESPN.
Mm-hmm.
The entire free agent pool for a team is $103,000 and some odd change. If I knew the amount, it would be really even better. But $103,000. They spent $55,000 on Josh Adams. Over half of it for all of their free agents, all the undrafted free agents. That's a lot. Usually they give them like $3,000, $5,000, $6,000. $55,000. Josh Adams is making that team.
Yeah, it's going to be tough not to at that price point.
I don't say that.
Yeah.
I heard
that's
that.
not funny, but those free agents, that's a lot.
Yeah. Well, let's stick.
Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say I'm loving talking about the Super Bowl champ so much, Dave. We could talk about Carson Wentz here with Greg and talk about what he did with his quarterback position in Genesis.
Yes, Greg. Would you like to tell us? Let's see. We had your only quarterback was Carson Wentz. And you're going to, in the first waiver wire this year, he's your only quarterback.
The only quarterback on his team heading into the first waiver. This is Genesis.
This is Genesis. I'm sorry. So that's actually not bad though, because you have the free agent. As long as you don't go out the night before and forget about it or something like that. What are your plans for that? You try to just not back him up and add another skill position player? Is that the idea?
Well, I mean, of course, Case Keenum didn't get drafted, so he'd be on that first waiver if I really had to, but I'm not really planning on it. I'm not. Well, that was pretty good. That threw me off for sure. Paxton, I forgot about that guy. So I don't think I'll have to. I mean, you do the podcast, but with the website and what we really do, I guess I wouldn't consider you media, but I think the media, hopefully don't offend anybody, is crazy with this kind of stuff. Carson Wentz is fine. He's going to play week 1. He might not play the preseason, but this is no Andrew Luck panic. He's going to be out there. He played the game, I looked it up, the game that he got hurt in, he threw for 4 touchdowns. He had 31 fantasy points before he went out in the beginning of the 4th. I mean, he had already torn it and still ran in a touchdown from the 5. I don't think there's any way he doesn't play.
Yeah, he should be playing through it at this point. Just get him out there right now.
What a win.
I want to get him out there for OTAs. This Carson Wentz, he's not a man. He's a god. Greg, I don't know if you have your draft in front of you from Genesis, or maybe you remember.
It's actually mounted on his wall at home.
Yeah, there you go. Or maybe you remember, some of the picks that you'd made. But if you look back in that draft from last week, was there a pick that stood out as your favorite, and then maybe a pick that you wish you could add back that you really didn't like?
Yeah, my favorite, I would have to say, I was looking at Evans at the 212 originally, which I think is a great spot for Evans, but I actually think Kevin Coleman might be it at the 701. I think, Devontae Freeman's still not healthy. I mean, there's a long ways to go, just like the Wentz thing. But he's been hurt quite a bit, and the concussion issue. I'm really not sure how much or how long Freeman is going to last. They drafted Coleman originally to be the starter, and he got hurt, week 1 or something. Freeman got the job, and that was it. So, Coleman, he's 25, 26. He can catch. He can do. I think he might end up being the best one this year.
Okay, I'm glad you brought that up because I have Devonta Freeman in a dynasty league. I didn't really want him, but whatever. I ended up with him. Yeah, but only one of my 8 dynasty leagues I'm in is the only one I have him in. And I can never try and trade this guy. I mean,
why can't you trade him?
Because no one wants him.
Wants Freeman?
Yeah, they I don't know what the deal is. Florida State guy, or maybe it's just bad athleticism, but no one's willing to give me anything for him. And now he's hurt still.
In the dynasty leagues that I'm in, I feel like in all of them, whoever the Freeman owner is, at some point has posted updated their trade bait or whatever.
He's always on it.
He's always on it.
Yeah.
But I never see him get moved.
I know.
Which is weird.
And it's like when he plays, he always puts up pretty good points. But I'm concerned about this injury too, Greg. I totally agree with you on this.
Yeah, Coleman could be a guy this year. Dave, Blake Harrington Dynasty League, which our rookie draft starts tomorrow. You know who owns Tevin Coleman in that league? Yours truly.
Oh, very nice.
So we'll see what happens there. Okay, let's keep it on the Genesis tip, Dave, here.
All right. So, Bulky.
Yes, that's my name. I would prefer you address your questions to our guest, Greg.
All right, so what team in this league do you think is going to give you the most problems in trying to bring home the title? Who's the second best team in this league? Maybe even the third.
That's funny. When I read this question the first time, I laughed to myself.
Did you feed him the question?
Still do.
I may or may not have.
Oh, this is like the Hillary Clinton debate with Donald Trump.
I don't.
You're giving out questions over
here.
Get the politics out of it.
It's like
so
CNN.
To tell you the truth, if I'm being completely honest, I would have to answer the question as mine. That's usually the case.
That's funny.
My own team gives me the most problem with winning. Definitely because I picked these Broncos, and it's definitely cost me fantasy championships. But in seriousness, I think Notorious B.I.G.'s draft was pretty solid. He's got a lot of depth. I don't think he's not going to have any problem in bye week or it looks pretty serious. But that's
Brad Kirkland's team.
Sorry.
B1G.
Sorry. I was thinking of Biplab. Go ahead. Sorry.
I can't say that somebody else is going to win until somebody takes the title from Meatheads, Miller time, Clint Austin Miller. He won the 26 in his first year in Dynasty, first startup. He crushed the draft, crushed all of it. Well, actually, he ended up, our league ended in a tie at the end of the year, and the playoffs ended in a dead points tie between Spree at Last and Meatheads. And it ended up being decided by, I believe, total points during the season. I don't know if you guys were aware of that.
That would came down to that. Where was a tie in the playoffs between the two, between Spree at Last and who's the other one? I'm sorry.
That did happen. Yeah.
Meatheads, Clint Austin Miller.
Meatheads and Spree at Last. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I think I remember that. Actually.
Yeah.
I remember the two team names.
So we all have to watch out for Meatheads in the Genesis 2 and the 2.0.
That's awesome.
Meatalytics coming at you, for sure.
Right.
Let's get to some emails here for you, Greg. This first one is from Steve in Salt Lake City, Utah. And this is after your own team here. Clearly, Cortland Sutton has some dynasty value going forward with Thomas and Sanders getting older and having big cap numbers in 2019. But is Deshaun Hamilton also worth grabbing in rookie drafts too? Good luck in Genesis this season. That email is from Steve in Salt Lake City. So you look at dynasty here. What does the selection of Deshaun Hamilton mean for Thomas and Sanders? And is Hamilton a guy that you think is going to fit long term on that Broncos team?
I think he'll fit long term. From everything I hear, of course, Demarius and Sanders both have one more year left. So this year and next year, depending on the $10 million, they're both about $10 million next year, I think. I doubt both of them will be there. So I don't know how much time he'll get this year. It depends on last year's third-round pick, who still has a lot of hype and should be a good NFL player, Carlos Henderson. but apparently he was eating weed in Louisiana. So I don't know if he's going to play or not. But he was a third-round draft pick and, highly regarded. So I don't and they would play, I believe, the same position, the slot. So I think if he's not able to play, I think they're going to move Sanders to the slot, is what it sounds like, and try to get Sutton in at the 2 right away on the outside.
Oh, I mean, because they actually spent draft capital on him, and that they're going to want to play the guy that they drafted earlier.
I don't understand.
Like Deshaun Hamilton, for example.
I don't understand.
So Hamilton
I'm not ripping on anyone. I mean, if there's anyone who thinks that Hamilton might be a better prospect.
Oh, I get
it. The player they drafted 60 picks earlier. Then they should perhaps look at the NFL draft boards and see that perhaps they liked Cortland Sutton better, even though, admittedly, during the combine, his head bobbed around like a weeble wobble while he was running routes.
The Denver media knows better than us, Dave.
So they claim.
Let's move on. I got another email here for you, Greg. Dean in Hartford, Connecticut. Who do you like better for 2018? So this is not a dynasty question. This is strictly redraft. Leonard Fournette or Melvin Gordon? Thank you for the email, Dean in Hartford, Connecticut. So now you're if you like picking in the mid rounds, and I don't know necessarily if these guys are going in the middle of the first. I think Gordon is more towards the end of it. Fournette maybe towards the end of it as well. But if you had the opportunity and you know you're going to take either one of these guys, which one are you taking first? Is it Leonard Fournette or is it Melvin Gordon, Greg?
Well, for me, in a redraft, it's Melvin Gordon this year. Dynasty, it would be Fournette for sure for longevity. I do like the San Diego back. I guess I'll give up some draft before tomorrow, but I like the kid that San Diego got. I can't even think of his name right now. I'm sorry,
Justin Jackson.
He's gonna. Yes, Justin Jackson. I think he's got some potential. And Gordon.
I agree.
I haven't
seen Justin Jackson going early. I'm sorry to interrupt you, Greg, but I've seen Justin Jackson go as early as like the 301 in the draft.
And I'll say this just as a shameless promotion on the Roto Underworld podcast with Matt Kelly. We actually spent a good bit of it talking about Justin Jackson.
Oh, very good.
So,
all right. Sorry to
actually
interrupt you, Greg.
And hold on, and Greg, I'm gonna let you finish in a second. But Beyonce had one of the greatest videos of all time. No, but I'll say this about Justin Jackson in FFPC best ball right now. Like you would think if you invested a first round pick in Melvin Gordon, you'd probably want to get Jackson somewhere on there.
Yeah, for sure.
25th round is his ADP. And he's not going any higher than the 23rd. This is post-NFL draft.
That's really cheap.
It's insane how cheap you can get him right now. And he's a guy. Now we're probably driving up his ADP.
I'm sure we are. Yes, absolutely. Plus, we're to Northwestern, so he can't be a total dummy.
Exactly. Yeah. No, but okay. So finish your point here with Gordon versus Fournette here.
Oh, just the Gordon, the knee. Although from everything I've been learning since I started Dynasty and reading into injuries and running backs, apparently knees can be fixed easier than ankles, that when a guy has an ankle like Fournette does and Ajayi does, that it just lasts forever. And there's not a lot you can do. So it's really close, but Fournette's got it's just strictly age for Dynasty, but Gordon I think will have a better year. I mean, I don't know if anybody watched. I mean, I think a lot of people watched Jacksonville at the end of the year. T.J. Yeldon actually came on pretty strong. I think he scored all 88 of his fantasy points in the last 6 games or something.
Might have. That's interesting.
Yeah.
All right, so this is our big question here. This is where we make sure to write down the information.
Question.
So, and don't worry, none of your league, well, maybe all of your league mates.
Yeah, there's a good number of Genesis guys in the chat room.
Name one player you'll be avoiding in the early rounds of FFPC drafts this summer. So this is redraft balls we're looking at here. All right, these are redrafts, okay. Early rounds of FFPC drafts this summer, you're avoiding player, and then also your sleeper that you're targeting in the middle to late rounds.
Okay, well, this one, the first part's real easy. It goes right back to the question about Martavis Bryant. And it's Dynasty and redraft. It works out perfect. There's no chance I'm drafting Amari Cooper in the second or early third round. And then middle to late, I mean, it's quite a bit different for me. Middle round, I like Martavis Bryant. I like late round, I like I like DJ Chark. I think he's a SEC receiver, 6'3", 200 pounds, and he's a blocker. He's known to be the best blocker in the receiving, core this year. And I've had Jarvis Landry a few years. He's known he's a good blocker. He's in on every play, so he gets a chance to have 110 catches because he's in on every play since he can block. And if you're in there, being in the game is the most important part of fantasy. So if you're going to and Marquise, what's up?
I was going to ask your DJ Chark affections because I've actually been in three of my dynasty leagues have gone up, and I've ended up with Chark at the 305, the 310, and the 312.
And you have not targeted him in any way. He continues to fall to you.
He keeps falling to me, but I was looking, when I was researching he was available, I'm like, okay, this guy, like you said, 6'3", 200, good blocker. He went 5 for 160 in the Senior Bowl, 4.34, incredible speed. I mean, just unbelievable speed. I don't see a lot of downsides to him other than that the pundits that everybody follows don't tend to like him. I think that's the reason he's falling.
Right, he's the fastest player at the combine, and he's 6'3", 200 pounds from LSU, SEC receiver that can block. So, and they lost Allen Robinson, Marquise Lee can't stay on the field. I think DJ Chark's going to be their X. I mean, he'll be the fastest X in the league. Him and Diggs, I guess. I mean,
makes sense to me. I'm a believer.
Watch out for Jake Butt. He was supposed to be the best talent in the draft last year, but had the injury. He's supposed to see the field this year. So
coming off that torn ACL, there's a chance that he was going to actually play at the end of the 2017 season. I think the Broncos made the right decision in shelving him for the entire year to bring him back fully healthy for 2018. So we'll definitely keep an eye on him. Martavis Bryant is a guy that Greg McClain believes could be the number one receiver for the Raiders this year. He's won multiple Football Guys Players Championship Leagues. Pay attention to what he's saying. Martavis Bryant in the 13th round is his ADP right now. I'm just saying there are a lot worse ways to spend a 13th round pick for sure. So that is where we're at on that. Greg, it has been a pleasure. I am going to keep you on for our next guest that I'm about to bring on because he is your Genesis cohort. He is a fellow 26er just like you, and to give him his introduction, he's won league titles in the FFPC at both the Dynasty and Football Guys levels. He joins us now to discuss his Genesis draft and a massive trade he made in the 2,500 number 5 startup. You can follow him on Twitter at DustinDavidH. Dustin Hayek is here. Dustin, welcome to the show, man. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, how you guys doing?
Doing excellent, and it is fantastic to have two Genesis guys on, and I want to talk Genesis, but before we
After
do
we
that...
snubbed you, by the way.
Yeah, that was...
Mostly Balky snubbed you.
No, I did. I'll take the blame on that. That's fine. I'll take the fall. I will fall on that sword. Let's talk about this massive deal, because people always want to know what it takes to get the number one pick in a Dynasty startup, what you have to give up. And you actually gave up the 101 and the 1212 in the 2,500 number 5 startup. You got back the 408, the 505, the 705, the 808, the 905. So a lot of mid-round picks there, early round picks, I should say. Tell us a little bit about why you made the deal and what players those picks turned into.
Yeah. So it's certainly, a unique or crazy trade depending on who you ask about it. And, it's not one we see every day, especially in a dynasty league with a 2.5G buy-in, right? But yeah, I made that big trade for all those picks, and I actually swapped around a couple other picks and made a couple more trades and had 15 startup picks in the top 10 rounds, whenever we started up the draft. So I had a 2, a 3, 3 4s, 3 5s, and then 7 other picks in the back half of the top 10 rounds. And, the teams I look back at, I've been playing dynos with FFPC for about about a year and a half now. And, I look back at my teams from last year. The ones I liked the best were the teams where I continued to trade back and pick up, future first-round picks and draft, kind of young guys with a lot of upside that would increase in value from, this year to next. So that was kind of the reason I did it. I looked at the 1.01. From a value perspective, it could only go down, right? But if I was able to pick up a few first-rounders and some young studs that could increase in value, that was the goal, and that's why I did it.
Excuse me. I'm sorry, Dave.
Yeah. Talk now?
Yeah.
Oh, good. Okay, so I'm going to ask the next question. If Balky has some comment after
my son may have broken my nose tonight, and I think it's just everything. It's affecting my voice, my throat, everything.
He needs you in the nose.
I'm a hurting unit tonight. Yeah.
You've been holding it very well.
Yeah, thank you. But hold on. I know we want to talk about the Genesis rookie draft in a second.
Yeah.
Dustin, can you give us the cliff notes on number one? Tell us who went at the 101, and then tell us about the players that you ended up getting in this deal for the 101.
Yeah, that's a good question.
Yeah, sure. So Barkley ended up going at the 101 to Ryan,
Boom.
Team name JK, and so Saquon, it's hard to it's hard to argue with that. I mean, I would have personally probably taken Gurley, but Barkley is right there in that mix. So, what I felt like it gave me was a lot of power to kind of move around. If I had so many picks. If I needed to move up and grab a guy, I could do it, and I did that with Rashad Penny. And then, if I needed to kind of move down and pick up a future first because my guy wasn't there, I had so many picks within the first 10 rounds. I ended up picking up 4 2019 firsts just when – my pick came up and my guy wasn't on the board. So net effect, I mean, I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 or 6 young guys that I feel like have tremendous upside, and 4 future firsts.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking at.
Thanks for ruining the league.
Yeah,
I appreciate
exactly. It'll be
I got to sell those teams off, by the way.
It'll be the first FFPC team ever disbanded.
I'm trying to screw up a few of those picks, Dustin, if you could.
Well, I'll tell you. I don't think he did. I don't think he did.
No, I mean the future picks.
Oh, it's future picks, yeah. But like Darius Guice, Juju Smith-Schuster, Rashad Penny, David Njoku, DJ Moore, you get the first 4, those 4 future firsts. That is a lot of capital to get for that 101 pick. Okay, moving on, Dave.
Yeah, I like that a lot. All right, who's the team to beat in Genesis? That's it. That's the question, nothing else.
Can I give you the long answer?
Yeah, the answer can be as long as you want.
Yeah, short question, long answer.
Short answer, deep
All right. I got to give you the long version because I got a lot of passion for Genesis here. So my boy Robert, Fantasy Dum Dums, he said it on the show last week, right? But just in case anyone missed it, Genesis, we filled our league up first. Before Revelations, there was a poll on Twitter asking who should get the first hour. Genesis won by a landslide, right? And then during the show, the first caller during the Genesis hour happened to be John, NFL style, with Genesis, right? Calling in during the Revelations draft. But, neither here nor there. We took our second hour, and I think we owned it. But my boy Kaz, Brad, he put a write-up up before Revelations put theirs up. And go to the forums, sign up for the forums, read his write-up. It's a professional write-up. He did a fantastic job on it. Get a lot of insight on every team and really get to know the 26 2.0 guys. But, I agree with my boy Pay the Manning. I agree with Greg. I think there's a dark horse. It wasn't one of the guys that Kaz picked, but I think Notorious B.I.G., I think Biggie, he's got the team to beat. He's got solid depth from top to bottom. He's got Kamara, whose stock really, jumped up tremendously this week with the, suspension of Ingram. He's got Howard, Landry, Tate, Aguilar. He's got DJ Moore, one of the guys I really like. I don't know what he'll do in his rookie year, but, he could have a lot of upside. And then he's got Kelsey, at tight end. I just think he's solid from top to bottom. He's got some depth on his bench as well. So that's my pick in Genesis.
I need people to stop talking about DJ Moore for about another week and a half.
A few days.
Yeah. I got 3 more dynasty drafts starting. That's it. No more talk about him.
Hey, Greg, I want to go back to you because we're going to talk to Dustin about the 26ers rookie draft here. But your thoughts on how that draft is going? Any surprises or anything that has stuck out to you? Based on how it has gone thus far.
In the 26 rookie draft or in the 5?
Correct.
The 26 rookie draft, I took Freeman at the 103.
The Royce Freeman love.
That's fine.
The Royce Freeman love is only matched by the Amari Cooper hate on the show tonight.
Right.
It's like the yin and yang.
let me apologize to Amari Cooper. There is, and I'll say it, there's a Bronco that has more drops and was far worse, and his name is Benny Fowler. He had one catch in the Super Bowl. Before that, he had 36 targets and 49 drops. It was out of control. But anyway,
awesome.
So I also, talking about the 5, I want to definitely give a shout out to those guys too. There's some really good players in the 2500 startup, the number 5, and Beast and I are 26ers that got in it, and we're learning a lot. There's some experienced, good players. I'm a little outspoken, we'll be getting along. We'll be getting along when the draft is over, but Beast has definitely got all the youth. I'm just trying to win, but I wanted to definitely make sure those guys. There's some good players. I'm learning.
Those $2,500 leagues are just so intense.
Yeah, they are intense.
I mean, it's like if you go for like a full, what we used to call it the Norm Cruise strategy, where you just tank, so-called tank year one and just have all these picks for next year.
The process.
Like, you spend $2,500 to do that.
Right.
So it's not like it's $0 or $250 or $77 or whatever.
Got to look at it as an investment.
It's real money.
Yeah.
That's a big screen TV 20 years ago.
Dustin, we know Freeman went at the 103 to Greg. You got Saquon Barkley at the 101. Rashad Penny goes at the 104, and then DJ Moore at the 111. So Moore fell a little bit in this draft. Really, this is a running back heavy first round, though.
Yeah, you're spot on. The first 8 picks were running backs, and my boy Meatheads, he had DJ Moore just fall to him at the 111. And, we're a pretty close group. So Spree and I we offered everything we had to trade for that pick, and neither one of us could get it from him. So he ended up drafting DJ Moore there. And then Spree and I put a trade together. I traded a couple of a mid-round second and a late second to trade up to his 2.01 and grab Christian Kirk, which is my second best receiver in this draft. So we were able to put that deal together. And then he got a steal at the 211, which was one of my picks with Anthony Miller, who I don't believe is too far off from Christian Kirk. I mean, he might be the third best receiver in this class.
I wasn't a huge Anthony Miller guy, but the more people I talk to, it seems like I am definitely in the minority. I guess maybe because I was just unfairly penalizing him because of his age, but he might step in and be a pretty good player right away in year one. And he might end up carving out a nice little dynasty career, similar to the nice little fantasy football careers you two have carved out so far in the FFPC.
Not so little anymore,
Yeah, not so little. The 2,500 fives, and that's really the lead that we buried. We got two of the 2,500 number 5 owners on the show.
You're talking about Genesis. I mean, come on.
Well, Genesis, I think it's a thing. It's a thing again.
It is, actually.
We need to address it because
Thank you very much.
This is all the buzz with the FFPC. People are usually at this time of year, Dave, they're like, how do I get into pros versus Joes? And now everybody's like, hey, how do I get into this Genesis? Boy, this sounds like a lot of fun. Listen, guys, we are so short on time. We have so much.
Finish up. Let me have it.
Yeah, I will.
Can I say something?
But
I just want.
Yeah, go ahead, Greg. Yes.
I just want to say thanks to you guys, thanks to the FFPC, everything you do. By far the best customer service of any business that I deal with or do anything with. The show, everybody's awesome. The 26, the 2.0, the 5, the Genesis. Everything you guys make it possible. It's pretty awesome, and I got to give a special shout out to. Metalytics had to draft an FBG that I entered tonight at 8 and forgot about. So I got to thank him for winning that for me.
That's awesome.
What team name is it?
It's this one's for John.
All right, right on.
Come on, Dave.
Yeah. How's he doing, Dave? You're commissioning it.
He's doing fine. He's not. There's one individual who's not happy with his draft position. So that's one thing we don't do very well here is randomized draft picks.
Yeah. We need to make the randomization more random.
Well, so if we could randomize draft picks to the people that want the higher spot, like the 1 through 4, that would help.
Yeah, we need to
I don't know who those are though.
Listen, a lot of fun having you guys on tonight. Good luck with all your leagues this year. Good luck with the 2500 number 5, the 26 draft, all the Football Guys leagues, and of course Genesis will be following that throughout the season. Hopefully the message board, weekly recaps. I know Two-Packer does those for Revelations. Hopefully we can keep going with Genesis. So much fun having you guys on. Thanks for everything, and good luck this season. We'll talk to you guys again soon.
Thank you. You guys should try to have some of these other guys on. It'll be entertaining. Everybody's a character and entertaining. It'll be good through the summer.
That's reality show that they're always looking for on like A&E.
Yeah, if somebody comes to us now, I think we clearly have to say, yeah, this Genesis league is the one to follow. And Dustin, thanks so much for all of your promotion on social media and everything you do there, and for all your support of the FFPC. And thanks for coming on and discuss these dynasty trades tonight, man. Appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you guys for inviting me, and I'll see you out in Vegas. I booked my flight today and got the approval on the time off from the big man. So I'll see you guys out in Vegas, and looking forward to it.
Oh, sweet.
Awesome. That is fantastic. We will look forward to that. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much. Greg McClain and Dustin Hayek coming on tonight on the show. A bevy of leagues between the two of them that they play in and representing all of them very well tonight, Dave. A lot of fun having those guys on.
For sure, that was great.
Now is the boring part of the show where we talk about the I Got 5 on It for 2017. It's time to settle them up.
I got 5 on it. Yeah, play that jam. I feel like my bank account is getting ready to put some interest, 2.28%. What do I need to put this CD in, Balky?
Yeah. So what I didn't really talk about tonight is this is our season finale, finally. We almost did 60 shows this year, which is insane. Normally we do 52 or whatever.
60 shows. I mean, you know those clowns who are serious. They do like 3 hours a day of yammering about whatever.
Yeah, they get.
Granted, it's crappy.
And they get ad breaks.
They get ad breaks. They take a leak whenever they feel like it.
Right.
So they're doing like maybe 10 hours a week. That's like 5 weeks for those guys.
We did a lot. Our schedules didn't line up to do this earlier. So we'll have our season premiere next week, and I'll tell you about that in a little bit because there's some stuff on that. But this is season 7, I believe. Is that correct? Yeah, season 7.
Something like that.
Yeah. And so the board, I believe, is tied 3-3 over the first 6 years.
The overall dollar amounts are like even or close.
Yeah, they're fairly close. And I got to tell you, I didn't fact check this part of it, but I believe this was the most wagers we have made in any one season was 2017.
Wow.
So I am going to take us through them right now. We'll tell you who won, and I'll tell you what we got going on for 2018.
So are we able to run long tonight if necessary?
Yeah, we'll run long. But, okay. I mean, it won't be too much longer.
That's fine. I mean,
I'm sorry, do you have a...
No, I don't.
You have a draft to get back to.
No, I want this to run long because I want to enjoy this as much as I can.
You'll enjoy it. That may or may not be a spoiler.
This is like Rush making into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. I want to give them their props, give them their time, their limelight, so to speak.
Good one. Use the spirit of radio to get through this one. June 2nd.
I'm working, man, so go ahead.
June 2nd, 2016 is when it all began, Dave. The Giants, will they draft a running back in rounds 1 through 3? This was last season.
Go ahead, but this really pisses me off.
I said
Saquon Barkley.
Right.
This goes 2 overall to him. Go ahead.
I said no, you said yes. Their first running back they drafted, the 34th pick of the 4th round, Mr. Wayne Gallman.
And then
that one.
That's right. And then they realized how badly they had messed this up. Yeah, for consecutive years with Perkins and Gallman, and they finally manned up.
Oh yeah, we got to pour one up for Paul Perkins tonight.
the end of a non-era.
I just waved to him in the unemployment line over there. Yeah, the end of a non-era, as you so eloquently put it.
I feel like I lost that wager, but I feel like in spirit I got it right.
Okay. October 7th, 2016. Will the Raiders draft a running back in the first 75 picks? I said no. You said yes. Their first running back was Elijah Hood, pick number 242.
Oh, man. All right. Not doing so well to start. It's all right.
Well, this will make you feel better because I have no idea what I was thinking on this one. December 16th, 2016. Maybe I was in the giving spirit since it was coming up on Christmas. Will Michael Floyd be on the Patriots roster week 1 of 2017? I said yes. You said no. He, of course, was not on the Patriots roster week 1.
Hope he got the degree from Notre Dame.
June 6th, 2017. The Bears draft a running back in rounds 1 through 3. I said no. You said yes. The first running back drafted, Tariq Cohen. Pick 13 of round 4. So I won that one. We love making these running back bets.
I don't even know, to be honest. I don't know why I made that bet.
January 6, 2017, same date. The Bengals draft a running back in rounds 1 through 3. I said no. You said yes. Their first pick, the 16th pick of round 2, Joe Mixon.
All right.
So you won that one.
Hey, 1 for 4. That's not good.
April 26th, we got a little crazy. This was our pre-draft show, so we made a bunch of wagers on the draft on this date.
Sweet.
Dalvin Cook, will he be a first or second round pick? I said first, you said second. He, of course, was a second round pick, so you won that one.
Good one, by the way.
How many quarterbacks will be taken in the first round of the NFL draft? I said more than 3. You said fewer than 3. The first round quarterbacks were Mitchell Trubisky, Patrick Mahomes, and Deshaun Watson. It was a push.
Oh, yeah.
Running backs taken in the first round. I said there'd be under 2.5. You said there'd be over 2.5. There were Leonard Fournette and Christian McCaffrey. It went under. So I won that one.
Okay, let me get this straight. I bet the Cook would go in the second round. Yeah, I took the under on the.
I don't think you were a big Cook guy.
No, I know. I mean, by the way, I came around. Remember, I came around him with the ESPN score thing.
That's true.
But those don't make any sense. Anyway, go ahead.
All right, let's move on to the first kicker goes off the board. I said rounds 1 through 3. You said rounds 4 through 7. First kicker, by the way, was Jake Elliott, who was awesome last year.
Yeah, right.
9th pick of the 5th round, so you won that one.
Seriously, how did you make this bet?
I blame that one because these were prop bets that were offered at the Westgate, and you were like, oh, it's a slam dunk. I'm going to win that one. I'm like, I don't know if it's a slam dunk, so I'll take rounds 1 through 3. Just because I wanted so desperately to like Tampa or Oakland or somebody to take a kicker in round 3.
I mean, come on.
April 26, 2017. Now, this is difficult to explain, but this is basically how many spots different there would be in where they were picked in the first round.
Differential.
Leonard Fournette was a 5.5 pick favorite over Christian McCaffrey.
Oh, I think I got this.
I took Fournette at minus 5.5. You took McCaffrey at plus 5.5. Fournette was picked 4th. McCaffrey picked 9th. So you snuck that one out by a half pick.
McCaffrey, I love you, baby. That's so great. By the way, his arms are looking really huge.
McCaffrey's there?
Yeah. His bench press wasn't so impressive, 225 by 10. I think he's popping off like 20 by now. His arms are huge.
I have to talk to you something off the air about Christian McCaffrey.
Maybe hitting the HGH or something. Maybe.
Remind me to, seriously, remind me.
Okay. Off the air.
I don't want to talk about it on the air. Mike Williams versus Corey Davis. Mike Williams, 4.5 pick favorite. I took Mike Williams. You took Corey Davis, and Mike Williams was drafted after him, 2 picks after, so you won that one. Corey Davis, a half-pick favorite over John Ross. I took John Ross. You took Corey Davis. Corey Davis obviously went 5th. John Ross went 9th. You won that one. Spoiler alert for the rest of these draft ones, Dave slayed me. O.J. Howard, 10.5 versus David Njoku. This is another one that ticked me off. I took O.J. Howard minus 10.5. You took David Njoku plus 10.5. Howard picked 19th, Njoku 29th. That is a difference of 10. Once again, you sneak in by half a pick. Kareem Hunt, what round will he go? This is when you were sort of talking up Kareem Hunt quite a bit. I said he would go on day 3. You said he would go on either day 1 or day 2. And Kareem Hunt, 22nd pick of the 3rd round. You won that one. So congratulations on that. Another win for you. Zay Jones, will he go before or after pick 45.5? I said before, you said after.
Yeah, I got that by what, 8 picks?
He went at pick 37. I won that one.
Yeah. Zay Jones, will he have a psychotic
I don't want to
episode
make
and
fun of
break
it.
a bunch of windows?
I'm not going.
Threaten to kill himself with his brother there while running around naked. I said no. You said yes. Congratulations. You got that one.
Yeah, well, I shouldn't have
We didn't make that bet.
I should not have bet that. All right, and our final pre-draft pick, the Packers draft Dalvin Cook in the first round. Now this is one that you said they would, and I gave you 7-1 odds.
Oh man!
So this would have been huge if it would have been right. He of course was the 9th pick of the second round to the Minnesota Vikings. So you did not.
Yeah, because the Packers went crappy RBs by committee draft picking and stuff.
Right.
And look at where they are now. Look at where they are now. If 2 crappy running backs and a converted wide receiver that kind of sucks, and they could have Dalvin Cook.
I think of Kevin King though. I mean,
what?
Kevin King. That's who they took in the second round.
A running back?
No, I mean I'm just saying like that's who they used their second round pick on.
Yeah, whatever.
I don't know. I
doesn't help my fantasy team.
Okay, fine. Fair enough. May 12th, 2017. Is Jay Ajayi a top 10 FFPC running back in 2017? I said no. You said yes.
Are you serious? I said yes.
You said yes.
Oh my gosh.
He finished as RB 30.
What a terrible. I don't know what I was doing that night.
I won that one. Okay, let's make you feel better now. May 19th, 2017. Martellus Bennett is a top 10 FFPC tight end in 2017. I said yes. You said no. He, of course, finished as tight end number 36.
Oh, these are so much fun.
May 26th, 2017.
I think the key is to just always say no.
Well, that hasn't always worked out. May 26th, 2017. Stephon Diggs, will he get 70 catches in 2017? And we included week 17 for this. This is specific to the bet. Okay. I said yes. You said no. Stephon Diggs ended up with 64 catches.
Wow.
So you won that one.
And one really awesome catch in the playoffs.
Hey, here's a fun one.
That was so great.
May 26th, 2017. More FFPC points in 2017. I said Kenny Britt. You said Corey Coleman.
Oh my goodness. What is it, 40-40?
Kenny Britt had 57.6.
Yeah.
Corey Coleman had 65.5. So you won that tickle fight.
Oh my God.
I don't know
what
how
a battle
with
the turds. Oh man.
Here's another one.
Terrible.
June 16th. We have
I'm sure we were both talking about how great they were both going to be, right?
No, I think we were just talking about like late round flyers and how I thought Britt would be a better investment than Coleman.
I don't know how late they were going.
No, they were on the same team at the start of the year. Britt was a Brown to start the year.
Yeah.
I think that's what it was.
Yeah, anyway.
More FFPC points in 2017. Jamison Crowder plus 22 is what I had. You had Terrell Pryor minus 22.
What did it finish at?
Yep. Pryor had 50. Crowder at 160.9.
Oh, man.
So I was the outright winner on that one.
I'll say.
Same day. Was Terrell Pryor's contract over or under $5 million? We had an argument on the show. I said it was.
I enjoyed this segment.
I said it was over. You said it was under, despite you saying you would rather have Pryor than Crowder, and gave me a 22-point bump. It was actually $6 million guaranteed plus another $2 million in incentives, so I won that one.
Yeah. Pryor, what a joker.
June 23rd, 2017. Tyrell Williams.
By the way, I did not recommend people draft Pryor. I will say that.
That's true.
I did not take him.
But you did like him better than Crowder.
I did.
Which, by the way, he
was
going ahead of. That's why you gave me the points, because Pryor was going ahead of
Crowder. He was going to 3-4 term, which I thought was a joke. And then Crowder, I don't know what happened with him. He came on late.
He came on late. Yeah. June 23rd. Tyrell Williams. Will he be a top 25 receiver in 2017? I said no. I'm sorry, Dave. I said no. You said yes. He finished as wide receiver 48.
Bummer.
July 12th, more 2017 fantasy points. I said Theo Riddick, and you gave me 15 points on this.
Against what, nobody?
Amir Abdullah, minus 15.
You suck.
Amir Abdullah ended up with 116.5. Theo Riddick, 151.8. I was the outright winner on that one.
Abdullah, you are the worst. You know what? I'm wrong about Abdullah. I'm sorry. He's terrible.
Yeah, you should have used your Abdullah Oblongata on that one.
Thank you. Very nice. Kurt Reed would appreciate that.
I'm sure he would. July 12th, Mike Williams. Here's one that you'll feel better about. 2017 receptions.
Well, he sucked, yeah.
Over or under 35. I said over. You said under. I thought I was going to sneak in this one at the end of the season. It didn't happen. He ended up with 11 catches.
You know, dude, 35 is a pretty, robustly small amount to give someone who's this top
number
10
7
pick.
overall pick.
Yeah, I felt pretty good about it. That's all.
You should have, and you did, and you continue to feel good about it. July 12th, more Scott Fishbowl points. Remember, we were both in the Scott Fishbowl last year.
Yeah.
I had 1,663.72 points. You had 1,912.1 points. So you won that one. You were actually in the top 10 for several weeks. And I want to say, oh, Dave, I lost because all my guys got hurt. You had even worse injuries than I did.
Yeah, I lost David Johnson and Dalvin Cook, actually.
Rough, man. I lost David Johnson as well. But to lose those two guys was real. That's what.
The key of my team was, I think I had Dak Prescott and Carson Wentz as my
and
two
it
players.
was,
They just kept on being good.
It was a super flex.
Yeah,
league,
super
so
flex, yeah.
You could play both.
The scoring system was ridiculously terrible last year. Supposedly, he's thinking about changing it this year. God, please do.
I think he's going to change it. It's just a matter of what he changes it to.
Yeah, something probably equally not as good.
I'm sure it'll be fine. July 12th, same day, more 2017 fantasy points. I said T.Y. Hilton. You said Des Bryant. Any guesses as to who won this one?
So was it for the season?
For the season, more fantasy points.
I think Des might have done it. Des was like WR24.
Des had 188.4.
Yeah.
T.Y. Hilton had 177.6.
Wow.
Lost that one by the hair of my chinny chin.
And T.Y. Hilton's probably earning about $8.4 million this year. I have no idea how much it really is. And Des is unemployed.
Well, he has a job, yeah.
Des is unemployed.
Des is unemployed.
What a joke.
By the way, what round would you take Des Bryant in a Footballguys draft right now? Just curiously.
12.
He's going in about the 11th right now.
Oh, yeah, that's a good guess. I think whatever.
July 23rd, more FFPC fantasy points. This is our first shutout of the contest. This will be fun. I had A.J. Derby, who had 55.5.
Yikes.
You had a big fat goose egg from Eric Swope. I don't even know how we come up with some of these.
Swope. You know, the only reason I was taking Swope is because all these high-stakes people kept talking about Swope.
Swope.
Yeah, I'm like, you know what? Derby sucks. I'll take this guy Swope that they're all talking about.
You had Swope fever.
I never rostered Swope once, but that was fun.
All right, September 15th, we get into our in-season wagers. More week
this
2.
This could be a 2-hour show, by the way.
Yeah, it's getting there. More week 2 FFPC points. Tariq Cohen is who I had. You had Delaney Walker. This is a problem. The problem I had, you won this one, 18.2 to 14.8. Remember, this was the week that Walker, he scummed out. He, threw a touchdown that week.
Scummed out.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because Delaney Walker's a big part of the passing, the actual passing game for Tennessee. I was so ticked off that you won it that way.
Did Cohen get some cheesy punt return touchdown for action scoring?
No. Cohen grinded out his catches like he does every week, got people solid 14.8. Delaney Walker did BS 18.2. Never should have happened.
That's great.
September 22nd, more week 3 FFPC points. I had Jamison Crowder's 11.2. You had DeAndre Hopkins 14.6.
You took Crowder over Hopkins?
Yeah, there must have been a matchup thing going on that week.
Yeah. Always start your studs.
Yeah, and that would have worked out that week, Hopkins over Crowder. September 29th. This was an interesting one. Joe Mixon, will he be a top 20 fantasy running back from week 4 to week 16? Remember, this is after they fired the offensive coordinator and hired a new one.
That's interesting, bet.
I said yes. You said no. From week 4 to week 16, Mixon was the number 34 running back.
Yeah. Hey, you know what, all you Mixon believers? If he's so good, why doesn't he play football good? That's my question. 3.8 yards per carry. Not been so good so far. But hey, he's going to break out this year. You know, he could, by the way. But
he won't. The offensive line's terrible. His team is terrible. I'm not a Mixon believer.
But, you can sell him for, you can sell Mixon for the 102 or 103.
Dynasty, it's a little bit different.
But you know what? You could get huge value for Mixon.
You could.
If you own him.
October 11th, Josh Gordon. This is such a stupid one. I can't believe I did this. Josh Gordon plays one regular season down before the year 2021. I'm going to read that again. Josh Gordon plays one regular season down before the year 2021.
I must have said yes. Please tell me I said yes.
You said yes. I said no. He played week 13 of 2017.
Oh, welcome back, buddy.
I don't know why, but apparently we actually wagered on point spreads for the next two. October 11th, I had the Steelers +3. You had the Chiefs -3. Steelers are outright winners, 19-13. And that same week, I had the Jets +9. You had the Patriots -9, and the Patriots won 24-17. So I actually won both of those.
What the hell?
Yeah.
Maybe you should just be a handicapper.
Yeah. Well, whatever.
A two game sample size does not make it.
Not good enough to to make my way. November 3rd, Adrian Peterson, over or under 12 fantasy points in week 9. I said over, you said under, and he, of course, scored 18.7.
Wow.
I think that was his big Boffo week with the Cardinals, where he...
Yeah.
So.
Hey, we should have a bet. Adrian Peterson fantasy points for the rest of his career. I say 0 and you say a half. We'll talk about that next week.
Yeah, I'd actually consider that.
He says he's healthy.
There's some crazy GMs out there that would.
Got that right. Maybe Ballard from the Colts.
Yeah.
Once Andrew Luck goes IR, they'll put him on the roster.
Miami, they'd be nuts enough to do it.
Yeah, why not? We need more than just Frank Gore. Let's bring on Adrian Peterson, too.
Yeah, what the hell? He said, wait, have you seen these Instagram workout videos? It's insane. Why is this guy unemployed?
He's down here filming an episode of Ballers.
Yeah.
Welcome aboard.
Let's just get him on. We'll sell some tickets that week.
Hey, Rock.
Maybe they can get Rock to play defensive line that week, too.
Maybe.
November 3rd, more Week 9 fantasy points. I said Des Bryant and -5. You said Jordy Nelson +5. Des Bryant had 13.3. Jordy Nelson, 7.5. So I won that one.
Crap.
I was very close. Very
good
close.
spread there.
Very good spread. November 10th, Green Bay, Week 10. This is after Rodgers went down, and we were talking about Hundley and what he was doing to the team.
I think I felt good about Hundley, which is bad for the spot.
Green Bay, Week 10, over under 17 points. All they had to do was score 17 points. I said under, you said over. They, of course, scored 23.
Oh, wow.
So you won that one.
Probably not due to Hundley, though.
November 10th, Devin Funchess is a top 20 receiver from weeks 10 to 16. I said no. You said yes.
Oh, come on, baby.
He finished as wide receiver 23.
Oh.
Another one you lost. But it was close. It was close.
Thanks, Funchess actually tailed off at the end of the season.
He did. Well. That was the problem.
Yeah.
When you made the wager for his worst part of the year.
Yeah.
Same day, November 10th, more Week 10 fantasy points. Jermaine Kearse or Marquise Goodwin. I had Kearse. You had Goodwin. Kearse, 7.5. Goodwin, 17.1. Right. Congratulations.
Oh, thanks.
I wasn't done with my Jermaine Kearse love, though. That same week, I said he would outscore Chris Godwin, too. Jermaine Kearse, as I said, 7.5 points. Chris Godwin, 11.8.
Oh, yeah.
Double down on Jermaine Kearse. You are a two-time loser, my friend. That's me.
Godwin must have been replacing somebody.
Like could have been D-Jax or someone who's out. Yeah.
D-Jax it was, yeah.
November 24th, more Week 12 fantasy points. I said Cooper Kupp -2. Okay?
I was betting against Cooper Kupp.
You bet against Cooper Kupp.
Rare.
You said Sammy Watkins +2. Cooper Kupp at 19.6.
Yeah.
Sammy Watkins.
4.
18.2.
What?
You won that one.
Oh, my God.
5.6.
Dude, if you look at Sammy Watt's crappy season-long totals each week, that was probably like the only game he was within 2 of Kupp.
I was just about to say that same thing.
Oh, my, that was a terrible bet, but I'll take it home. Just like my good buddy Leroy would anytime you read a book.
December 15th, more Week 15 fantasy points. I had Mike Evans. You had Alex Collins. Don't know where this was coming from, but I think Evans was having that down season or whatever.
Right.
Collins had 10.2. Evans actually had 18.9.
All right. He showed up.
December 15th, more Week 15 fantasy points.
Oh, this was a lot of bets.
I had Jordy Nelson. You had Alex Collins. You doubled out on Collins. You won this one. Collins beat Jordy Nelson 10.2 to 5.8.
All right.
Moving on to the playoffs, January 5th. Zach Ertz will be the highest owned tight end in the playoff challenge. I said yes. Dave, you said no. Ertz didn't make it to the Super Bowl. So had people known that, maybe I would have won this one because Ertz was actually the third most owned tight end.
So he should have been the highest owned.
Should have been, yeah.
Yeah, you're right.
Well, I guess he would have because the Chiefs only played the one game and Gronk played.
You know what, I don't know.
Well, okay, I guess Gronk played all the games. And they both had first-round buys. January 5th, more playoff challenge points. This was the lineups we put together. I'm not going to bore everybody with our teams.
Too late on the rest.
But you had 169.3.
Yeah.
And I had 217.6.
Wow, you crushed
that one.
Bulky, nice job.
Thanks. February 1st, the length of the Super Bowl national anthem.
Who sang it?
I believe it was Pink.
I like Pink. She's very nice.
Will it be long? I said it would be longer than 158.6. You said it'd be shorter, and it was 153.
All right, nice job. Pink she seemed kind of like tight in her music, like she should be.
I felt there was going to be some sort of political statement that would draw it out. That's what I was betting on. Didn't happen.
Oh, she likes Trump?
No. Nick Foles' longest Super Bowl completion. Will it be more or less than 38.5 yards? I said more. You said less, and it was 55 to, I believe, what Greg McClain was talking about, Corey Clement, I believe, had the 55-yard catch in the Super Bowl.
Nice job, Nick.
That is a total of 47 wagers.
That's a lot of bets.
47.
I don't remember all that money.
So it cannot end in a tie.
Yeah, right.
However, we did have one tie in our bets.
For the prior year?
No, from this year. It did not end in a tie.
Thank goodness.
With a score of 26-20. The largest board blowout ever.
Yes.
Your 2017 board champion for I Got 5 on it. Congratulations to one Dizzle Dave. So congratulations on that. I will have to Oski you.
Yeah, put it on like the tab or whatever.
Not going to put it on the tab. And
I think I owe my kids like $400, so I'm not too worried about the 30 from you.
I am not involved in that. So
yeah, sometimes we need to get pizza for the household and so on.
Right.
We just take it out of their couch.
I didn't realize you did that. It's not smart money management, by the way. We need more financial advisors coming on the show. Tell you not to do that.
Is that even possible to have more financial advisors?
Clearly, we need more. If
lawyers,
this is how you're operating. So let's.
Pizza Hut does have specials though. So.
Right. Yes. So you take a 4-3 lead on the board for the 7 years we've been doing this. We will come back with season 8.
I think we should do it again. We should come back and do an 8th year, because I don't want to just end it like with 4-3.
Yeah, we can do that.
Do a new year.
We already have 5 wagers out there. The show is already running long, so I'm not going to go over them. We've made them all within. Well, I'll tell you what. I'll go over the
no one cares.
No, listen. There's 3 that we made in the last week. I won't talk about those. I don't know if you remember this back in March.
Yeah.
We actually made a Jordy Nelson bet. Over under 164 fantasy points. I said under. You said over.
For next year?
For 2018, yeah.
I'm already feeling buyer's remorse on that one.
And Jimmy Graham over under 8 touchdowns in 2018.
Yeah.
What do you think you chose?
I think I took over, actually.
Yeah, you did. You took the over. I took the under. And then
I feel all right about that. Actually.
Last week we made an Evan Engram bet, a Jordy Nelson versus Martavis Bryant bet, and a Randall Cobb versus DJ Moore bet. More bets to come. So if you like the I Got 5 on it, trust me.
Oh, with Graham and 8 touchdowns, I mean, if he gets injured, that's over with. So.
Well, Dave, I'm winning the entire year on that bet until I'm not. And then I have lost.
Sounds like a lot of times in Vegas for me, buddy.
Yeah, that could be. So I want to thank Greg McClain. I want to thank Dustin Hyatt, the FFPC, Rob Bryce, and, of course, each and every one of you for listening to the show tonight. Thank you so much. There is no show next Friday. No show. However, because we love you, our season premiere will be this Thursday at 10/9 Central. And what better way to kick off season number 8 than with 1250 Big Dog number 3 live best ball champ Kevin Proctor. The Throwbacks, Dave, will be on the show next week.
Proctor, that's awesome.
Proctor's going to be on, and
He's Proctor, I'm going to gamble.
Well, yeah, very good. I'm sure that won't be the only time that joke comes up. Register for the main event, Best Ball and Dynasty Leagues now at myffpt.com. Hey, get in on that Football Guys early bird. Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers, and good luck on all your rookie drafts this weekend.
This has been another episode of the High Stakes Fantasy Football Hour presented by myffpc.com. That was broadcast live and heard around the world. Eric and Dave will be back next week with more analysis, interviews, and advice from a guest much smarter than they are. Thanks for listening, and we'll talk with you again next week.
Big dog stay on the court, blow the whistle. Blow the whistle. Blow the whistle. Blow the whistle. Where you get that from?
I'm sorry, what did you say about the music?
I said, do you have music yet for us?
Yeah, I do. I'm going to give you, this is your right of first.
Kanye?
No, you told me Kanye was banned from the show. We've
Kanye,
used him like 3 times.
Actually, Kanye, because of his recent political statements, maybe we should bring him up.
It's up to you. Yeah, by the way, I wore my.
I'm kidding. I like your shirt.
Yeah, my Kanye West. This is the Watch the Throne tour shirt.
Nice. Did you ever see him?
Not live, no. Obviously, I've seen pictures of him. That's stupid. My son saw this shirt tonight or this morning when I was getting ready. Here, I'll show you. It's the Beast Mode shirt or whatever. Right, okay. It was like half animal, half Kanye.
No one else knows, but go ahead.
And my son was playing with his toys or whatever, and he literally stopped in his tracks this morning, and he's like, "Whoa, Dad, I like your shirt."
No, really?
Yeah, he's a big fan of it.
That's awesome.
Listen, so maybe he could be the third dragon. It'll be Trump, it'll be Kanye, and my son.
Yeah, that'd be great. Lucas, come on board, baby.
Dragon
Energy. Hashtag Dragon Energy.
Hashtag Dragon Energy. We're going to be using it all season 8. Thanks for listening.
I'm Jonathan Messenger, broadcasting to you live from my home, where I record a kids podcast with my son, Griffin.
John dreams of inspiring other parents to create something with their kids. American Family Insurance is helping to make that dream happen right now.
Dad, what else does a monster look like?
It was so huge.
John's podcast began at home, and your dreams can too. Learn more about American Family's home insurance at mfam.com. American Family Insurance. Insure carefully, dream fearlessly.
American Family Mutual Insurance Company SI and its operating company 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin 53783.
I'm Jonathan Messenger, broadcasting to you live from my home, where I record a kids podcast with my son, Griffin.
John dreams of inspiring other parents to create something with their kids. American Family Insurance is helping to make that dream happen right now.
Dad, what else does a monster look like?
It was so huge.
John's podcast began at home, and your dreams can too. Learn more about American Family's home insurance at mfam.com. American Family Insurance. Insure carefully, dream fearlessly.
American Family Mutual Insurance Company SI and its operating company 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin 53783.